All right, so get ready because today we are taking a deep dive into something truly wild.
Oh, I love wild. What is it this time?
It is none other than Lady Gaga's Vanity Fair lie detector test. Yeah, you heard that right.
Whoa, a lie detector test. That's pretty intense.
It is. We are going to find out what she revealed about everything, like from telephone to Tony Bennett and what it all means for her career and legacy.
Wow, this is amazing. I mean, it's not every day we get to analyze a celebrity under a lie detector.
Right.
It's like getting a glimpse behind the curtain of fame and all the illusions.
Exactly. And this video, well, it is pure gold. I mean, get ready for some surprising confessions and hilarious moments, too. And of course, we get to experience Gaga's undeniable charisma.
Yeah. You know, what I'm really interested in is the potential for unfiltered honesty here.
Hmm.
Because, under those conditions, who knows what might slip out?
Oh, I know. I cannot wait. I think we're going to learn a lot about her career, personality, and, even her relationship with fame itself.
Absolutely, and I can't wait to
Yeah.
dive into all of that.
Okay, so let's get started with some career stuff. First up, she confirmed that the telephone music video sequel, that is, in fact, happening.
Oh, wow, finally.
Remember that iconic video with Beyonce?
Of course, who could forget that? We've all been waiting for part two for, forever.
Right.
I can't even imagine what she's going to come up with.
So while she did confirm it, she's keeping a lot of the details under wraps for now, like the timeline and, whether Beyonce will actually be in it.
Yeah, that's fair enough. But the fact that it's happening at all is huge.
Huge. And you know what else is huge?
I'm on the edge of my seat. What?
Okay, so remember when Gaga arrived at the Grammys inside a giant egg?
Wait, seriously? She still has it.
She still has it.
That is commitment to her artistic legacy.
Right.
I'm dying to know, where did she even keep a giant egg?
It's in her archive with all of her other, iconic outfits.
Wow, that's amazing. It's like a physical manifestation of her career evolution.
Yeah, and speaking of, pushing boundaries, she also revealed that she once wanted to perform, get this, inside a Doritos vending machine.
Whoa, inside a Doritos vending machine. I never would have imagined that.
I know, right?
I mean, what do you think that was all about? Do you think it was like a statement about consumerism? Or was it just pure Gaga spectacle?
It's classic Gaga, right? Always pushing the envelope.
That's for sure.
So she even described her lifestyle at the time as no sleep, bus, club, another club, plane, next place, no sleep, no fear.
Wow, that's a lot to unpack. But knowing that, and knowing that Coachella's coming up, I'm really curious to see what she has in store for us.
Me too.
She clearly thrives on that chaotic, creative energy. It's almost like she's telling us to expect the unexpected.
Yes. Okay, and now, for some more personal insights from the test.
Ooh, personal insights. Love it.
So they asked her if she gets claustrophobic, and she said yes, but then she added, I'm kind of okay in latex.
Okay, that is a strange but very interesting detail.
What do you make of that?
Well, on the surface, it's like a funny little quirk, but I think it speaks volumes about her comfort zone, or maybe the lack of one, right? I mean, maybe it suggests that she's willing to push, physical and psychological boundaries for her art.
That makes a lot of sense.
It's a reminder that, behind this larger-than-life persona is a real person with her own unique experiences and, fears even.
So true. Speaking of relatable experiences, she also admitted to spending 4 hours doom scrolling on TikTok.
4 hours. Wow, that's commitment.
I know. But honestly, who hasn't fallen down a TikTok rabbit hole?
Yeah, right. Even celebrities with millions of followers, they get sucked in too.
It's comforting in a way.
Yeah, it is. So what else did she reveal?
Okay, so she dropped another bombshell. She said that at some point she might have wanted to change her stage name.
Really? I wonder what brought that on. The pressure of living up to, such an iconic name. Or maybe a desire to, evolve artistically.
Yeah. It makes you think about the weight of a name like Lady Gaga and what it represents.
Right, definitely. It gives us a little glimpse into the complexities of fame and identity.
Totally. Now, this next moment from the interview is really sweet. So when Gaga hears about Olivia Colman shouting her out in an Oscar acceptance speech,
Oh, yeah.
she had no idea it was coming, and you can tell that her surprise is so genuine.
I love that. It's heartwarming to see that kind of mutual admiration, between two incredibly talented women.
Right.
It shows that even at that level of fame, genuine connections and respect for fellow artists can still exist.
Yeah. Okay, and hold on to your hat, Gleeks, because Lady Gaga herself confirmed she is one of you.
A gleek. I love that.
She was initially confused when they asked her if she was a Gleek, but
She
then,
didn't know what a gleek was.
well, they asked her and she was like, wait, what's a Gleek?
That was hilarious.
But then once they explained it, she was like, oh yeah, totally, I'm a Gleek.
I love how enthusiastic she was about it.
I know.
It really speaks to her genuine love of music and performance in all forms, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, and this next one is just pure, only in Hollywood. So, Lady Gaga was once mistaken for Gwen Stefani by a stripper.
Kidding.
Nope. I know, she laughs it off, but it makes you wonder how often that actually happens.
Right. Like, is that a common occurrence for celebrities?
It's funny, but what I find interesting is that it highlights the power of celebrity lookalikes and, the blurred lines of identity in pop culture.
I see what you mean. Like, sometimes those perceptions can become so ingrained that they overshadow the actual person.
Okay, now this next revelation is a little bit more vulnerable.
Okay.
So Gaga admits to getting stage fright.
Oh, wow. Even her.
Even her?
That's surprising.
And she said she even felt it during the lie detector test.
I mean, that's kind of endearing in a way, right?
I think so too.
We often put celebrities on this, like, pedestal and forget that they have the same anxieties as the rest of us.
Right.
It makes her continued success all the more impressive.
I agree. Okay, so now let's talk about Tony Bennett. So, there were some early rumors about tension between them, but she completely denies having any regrets about working with him.
That's nice to hear.
I know, especially given all the rumors, right?
Yeah. It just shows a lot of maturity and professionalism on her part. It suggests that she's able to separate her personal feelings from her artistic collaborations,
Exactly.
which is crucial, especially for a career like hers.
Okay, so are you ready for the big reveal?
I am on the edge of my seat, tell me.
Did Gaga lie at any point during the lie detector test?
Oh, this is it, the moment of truth.
And the verdict is, she's telling the truth.
Wow. That's a huge validation. It really reinforces the authenticity of the entire interview.
Right, and you know what? She ends the whole test with this really powerful statement about self-belief.
Oh, I love when she talks about self-belief.
So she says, there can be 100 people in a room, and 99 of them don't believe in you. Would Stephanie be the one believer?
Ugh, chills.
I know. And the polygraph expert says, absolutely. Oh, that's such a powerful message about self-love. I love that she highlights that.
It is. And, I think it perfectly encapsulates the whole spirit of this deep dive. Lady Gaga, even under a lie detector, shows us her vulnerability, her humor, and her complete commitment to her art.
I agree. It's this authenticity that makes her so relatable to so many people.
Right. And, she's not afraid to be herself, even when it's messy, even when it's unconventional.
Exactly. Thinking back to her outfits, let's rewind for a second and talk about that meat dress.
Oh, yes, the meat dress.
An iconic moment.
So during the lie detector test, she confirmed that it's, safely tucked away either in her archive or maybe a museum in Vegas.
Oh, wow. I'm so glad it's been preserved.
Right. And get this, she said that she would totally wear it again.
Really? Of course she would. That dress is legendary. It's a symbol of her willingness to challenge norms and make a statement.
But would she wear raw beef as couture again? The lie detector says dit inconclusive.
Ooh, interesting. Maybe she's having second thoughts about round 2 with the meat dress. Maybe. Or maybe she's just messing with us.
Right. That sounds more like her.
I know. Okay, and remember that moment when she asked Cher to hold her meat purse at the VMAs?
How can I forget? It was a true pop culture moment.
So Gaga believes that it actually brought them closer.
Ah, that's kind of sweet.
Talk about an unforgettable bonding experience.
Yeah, it speaks to the power of like shared experiences.
Yeah.
Especially ones that are kind of unexpected and a little out there.
Right. It's like in that moment they were united by this absurdity of the situation.
Absolutely. It created this really unique connection between them. All right, so let's shift gears a bit and talk about Gaga's journey to fame.
Okay.
So, a former classmate of hers from NYU revealed that Gaga used to, belt out Wicked at lunchtime.
Oh, wow. Can you imagine sharing a cafeteria with Lady Gaga while she's channeling Elphaba?
That would have been incredible. Even back then, she couldn't contain her passion for performance.
And she actually confirmed that it's true.
Of course it's true.
It was no surprise to anyone.
I love it. It really paints this vivid picture of her early dedication to her craft, like turning an ordinary lunch break into her personal stage.
Yeah. And, she said that she identifies more with the, rebellious Elphaba than the, good girl Glinda.
Because that makes total sense when you consider her career choices.
Right.
I mean, that identification with Elphaba speaks to her own nonconformist spirit. and her willingness to challenge, like, the status quo. She's
Yeah.
never been afraid to be different.
Yeah, that's true. But fame isn't always glamorous, is it?
Definitely not.
So she actually recounted a time when she was mistaken for Gwen Stefani by a stripper.
Not again.
I know. It's funny, but it also makes you wonder how often that actually happens to celebrities.
Right. Like, how do they navigate those, everyday mix-ups? It makes you think about the way we perceive celebrities.
Totally. And speaking of unexpected encounters, can you believe that it took the queens on RuPaul's Drag Race a while to realize that she was the real Lady Gaga?
Oh, I remember that. She was
Oh.
totally blending in. It's a testament to her ability to transform, right?
Right.
She's a master of illusion and reinvention.
Yes, and she said that both appearing on Drag Race and being the subject of a Drag Race episode were really fun experiences for her.
Of course. I mean, who wouldn't want to sashay down that runway with RuPaul?
Exactly. And I think it also speaks to Gaga's respect for the art of drag and, her appreciation for the LGBTQ plus community.
Absolutely.
Right.
She clearly recognizes the power of drag as a form of self-expression and celebration.
Okay, back to some musical revelations. Remember all the debate about the Just Dance lyrics?
Red wine or red ones? That one.
That's the one. Well, Gaga finally set the record straight.
Eh.
Tell me. It's red wine, everyone.
Red wine, yes. Finally, I can sing along with confidence.
Right.
It's funny how misheard lyrics can take on a life of their own.
I know. And get this. Her go-to way to order red wine is with maraschino cherries and Diet Coke.
Maraschino cherries and Diet Coke. Really? That's a combination I never would have expected.
It's very unique.
Very Gaga.
Okay, now for a more introspective moment. When asked about her height, she confidently states that good things come in small packages.
Oh, I love that.
But she also concedes that, bigger is sometimes better.
Ooh, especially when it comes to diamonds.
Especially when it comes to diamonds.
Classic.
But don't get it twisted. She clarifies that diamonds aren't her best friend. They're
Okay.
just a friend.
Okay, I love that.
It suggests her priorities lie in, experiences, relationships, creative expression.
Right? Not just material wealth.
Now, let's talk about her creative process. So, she famously calls her team of collaborators the House of Gaga.
Ah, yes, the House of Gaga.
And guess what? She believes it's more powerful than the House of Representatives.
Wow, that's a bold statement. What do you think she means by that?
I think it highlights the immense trust and faith that she places in her team. She sees her success as a shared endeavor and acknowledges the power of collaboration.
That makes sense. It's a real testament to the strength of those relationships.
Totally. Now, when it comes to House of Gucci, she doesn't think that Ridley Scott owes her a writing credit.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Especially considering her involvement in the film.
Right. But I think it shows a clear understanding of, professional boundaries. She was dedicated to her role, but she recognizes that filmmaking is ultimately the director's vision.
Right. It's a sign of respect for Ridley Scott and his expertise.
But she's clearly a fan of Jared Leto, even his short shorts.
Oh, the short shorts. That's hilarious.
It's just this playful admission that shows her sense of humor and her ability to appreciate the eccentricities of her fellow artists.
Totally.
Okay, let's talk about one of her most iconic collaborations, Kermit the Frog.
Oh, yes. How could we forget Kermit?
So she admits that there might have been a little jealousy when Miss Piggy got involved.
Oh, a little Muppet jealousy.
Who can blame her? Miss Piggy's a legend.
That's true.
But despite that, she has no regrets about working with Kermit, and she would totally do it again.
I mean, it's Kermit.
I know. And she even confirmed her love for, the fuzzy green fellow during the lie detector test.
That's adorable. It reinforces her willingness to, push creative boundaries and just embrace these, unexpected collaborations.
Right.
She's not afraid to step outside of her comfort zone.
Exactly. Okay, now, are you ready for this?
Hit me with it.
So she reveals that she has a massive 40,000 square foot storage space filled with every outfit she's ever worn.
What? 40,000 square feet.
40,000?
That's enormous. I can't even imagine the fashion treasures hidden within those walls.
It's like a museum dedicated to her fashion evolution, right?
Totally. It speaks to her recognition of, the cultural significance of her wardrobe.
And those sky-high platform shoes she's known for?
Oh, the platforms.
She confirmed that they are the hardest ones to walk in, but she can still rock them.
Of course she can.
She even joked about using them to reach, high shelves.
That's amazing. That's our Gaga.
Or resourceful queen.
I love that she finds the humor
Yeah.
in those, fashion challenges.
Me too. But, underneath all the glitz and the glam, there's that question of identity, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So she admits that she might have considered changing her stage name at some point.
Hmm. It makes you think about who is Stephanie Germanotta behind this Lady Gaga persona?
Right. Like, has the fame overshadowed her true self at all?
It's a question that has intrigued, like, fans and critics alike for years.
But despite those potential doubts, she does seem comfortable with who she is. Like, she allows many people to call her Stephanie, but emphasizes that it's not a strict rule.
That's good. It shows that she's confident in her own identity.
Right. And to wrap up this first part of our Lady Gaga deep dive, we have to talk about the Fame, that early hit that really launched her career.
Oh, yes, the Fame era, a
Yeah.
true cultural reset.
Right. So she revealed that her life back then was just a whirlwind of, parties, travel, and sleepless nights.
The life of a rising star.
It's the kind of chaotic energy that can fuel creative breakthroughs.
For sure, but it can also be very personally challenging.
Definitely. And it was a pivotal time in her life, shaping her into the icon she is today.
Absolutely. The Fame era laid the foundation for everything that came after.
Okay, so as we move into the second part of this deep dive, what are your biggest takeaways so far?
I'm really struck by her honesty. Even under a lie detector, she was so open and vulnerable. And it's clear that even with all the fame and success, she's still a human being, with doubts and insecurities, just like the rest of us.
Absolutely. And yet she's also incredibly self-assured and driven.
It's a really fascinating dichotomy. She's this complex, compelling figure. And this lie detector interview, it gives us this unique window into her world.
For sure. So stay tuned for part 2, where we'll delve even deeper into Lady Gaga's world and explore the lasting impact of her art and her message.
I can't wait. There's so much more to uncover. It's fascinating how the lie detector format really brought out those vulnerable moments.
Yeah, like when she admitted to having stage fright. I mean, it just reminds us that she faces those same anxieties we all do.
Yeah, totally. Makes her success that much more inspiring.
Totally. And speaking of dedication, remember that storage space she talked about, filled with every outfit?
Oh, yeah, the one with 40,000 square feet.
That's the one.
It's like a fashion museum.
It makes you wonder what else is hidden in there.
Oh, I know, right? Like unreleased songs, old drafts of videos.
Right. I mean, it really shows you all the work behind the scenes.
So much creativity. And she's collaborated with so many people, from Beyonce to Tony Bennett to Kermit.
I know. She's not afraid to try anything new.
It keeps things interesting.
So let's go back to the lie detector test. Remember that just dance debate, red wine or red ones?
Oh, yeah, that was a tough one. Which was it?
She said it's red wine,
Finally, we know.
and her go-to way to order it, maraschino cherries and Diet Coke.
Really? That's a new one.
I know, right? Very Gaga.
And then when they asked her about her height, she said, good things come in small packages.
But then she said bigger is better, especially when it comes to diamonds.
Oh, I love that. She really owns who she is.
But she clarified that diamonds aren't her best friend, just a friend.
It's about more than material stuff to her.
Exactly. Okay, now outer team, the House of Gaga. She said it's more powerful than the House of Representatives.
Whoa, what do you think she meant by that?
I think it's about the trust she has with her team, like they can change the world.
The power of collaboration.
And for House of Gucci, she doesn't think Ridley Scott owes her a writing credit.
Interesting. Shows a lot of respect for boundaries.
Right. But she is a fan of Jared Leto, even his short shorts.
Oh, the short shorts. That's hilarious.
Okay, and now Kermit the Frog. Remember she said she might have been a little jealous of Miss Piggy?
Yeah, can you blame her?
But she'd still work with him again. No regrets.
It's all about pushing boundaries and having fun.
Speaking of pushing boundaries, those platform shoes.
It's so high.
She said they're the hardest to walk in, but she still rocks them, even uses them to reach high shelves.
I love that she finds the humor in it.
It's that down-to-earth personality. But then there's the question of identity. Changing her stage name.
Yeah, like, is there a struggle between Lady Gaga and Stephanie Germanotta?
But she seems comfortable with it, lets people call her Stephanie.
It shows she's secure in who she is.
And finally, the Fame. She said it was all parties and no sleep.
Sounds intense.
It shaped who she is today.
So, moving into the last part, what are your takeaways?
Her honesty, how open she is, even with all the fame, she's still human.
I agree. She's complex. This interview gave us such a unique look at her world.
Stay tuned for part 3. We'll go even deeper and explore her impact.
I can't wait. There's still so much to talk about.
It's been amazing seeing all these different sides of her.
Right? Like, you see her ambition and then her vulnerability and then, like, her humor.
It's inspiring. Like she owns it all.
Yeah, totally. And that's what makes her so relatable, right? It's that authenticity,
I think so too.
especially in a world where everyone's trying to be so perfect online. It's
Yeah.
refreshing.
And that lie detector, it really let her be vulnerable. Like when she talked about stage fright.
Yeah, that got to me. Like even Lady Gaga gets nervous,
It shows she's human, right? Even with all the
and
success.
it makes everything she does even more impressive.
Exactly. And speaking of impressive, that storage space with all her
Oh
outfits,
my God, 40,000 square feet.
can you imagine? It's like fashion history.
Right. It shows how important image is to her whole career.
And she doesn't take it too seriously, like with the platform shoes.
Oh yeah, she said she uses them to reach stuff.
Exactly. High fashion, but still down to earth.
Which kind of brings us back to that whole identity thing, thinking of changing her name.
It's a lot to carry, a name like Lady Gaga.
Yeah, like where does the persona end and the person begin?
But she seems okay with it, letting people call her Stephanie.
Shows confidence.
Totally. And think about it, her early stuff, the fame. She said it was nonstop partying.
Fueling the creativity, right?
But also, it must have been tough.
You have to find a balance.
And it looks like she did. I mean, look at her now.
Constantly changing, pushing things forward. Makes you wonder what she'll do next.
Seriously, who knows? But it'll be exciting.
That's the thing with Gaga. Always a surprise.
So, as we wrap up this deep dive, what are your final thoughts?
I'm just struck by her honesty. Even hooked up to a lie detector, she was so open.
That's what I love too. Like, it was a wild ride, this whole lie detector thing, but we really got to see her.
Totally agree. And honestly, I think we all learned a little something about, creativity, about dealing with pressure, and about staying true to yourself.
Absolutely. It's been a journey exploring the world of Lady Gaga, a true icon. And even though our deep dive is ending here, the conversation doesn't have to.
Right. We want to hear from you. What surprised you? What parts really spoke to you? Let's keep talking about Gaga.
Because her story is far from over.